the dairymen of the 1930s and 40s have in common with investors in Enron? And what do the Dutch and Portuguese dairymen of the 40s, 50s, and 60s have to do with NVIDIA and Facebook? So this is a long way around. It has to do with sunken cost. So if you were a dairyman before World War II, you had about half of your capital, half of your labor, half of your investment tied up in horses, right? For every 5 acres of farm ground you wanted to do, you had to have about 5 acres per horse. And this is a huge investment. A third of your barns were used up by horsepower. And along comes World War II, and along comes tractors, and after that comes this immigration wave from Holland and Portugal, and these guys have nothing tied up in horses. They're like, just give me a tractor and a flat barn and I'll start milking cows. What does this have to do with Enron? Well, if you were an investor in the 90s, Enron was a big part of what you were doing. Whether you were an index fund or Dow Jones or an individual investor, you were exposed and you probably bought a lot of Enron. Smartest guys in the room, right? It's a famous movie. In 2001, Enron was replaced on the S&P 500 by a little company called NVIDIA. Kind of ironic. So that however much money S&P had in Enron, when they fell off, they took their $10 and they bought NVIDIA, and that worked out really well. But how do you walk away from an ass kicking like Enron? That mentally is very, very, very hard to do. If you invested a lot of money, a lot of time in owning Enron, and then back to the 30s and 40s, if you had invested all your family's fortune and finance in horse infrastructure, it was very, very hard to make that switch. You may have known it was right. We've got to change, but you're hung up. I mean, this is the barn that Grandpa built. Meanwhile, guy gets off the boat from Friesland. Hey, I'm going to put a flat barn in that son of a bitch and start milking cows. He don't care what you paid. Same thing. A young guy in 2002 that has not put any money in Enron, he'd give two shits. He's going to buy NVIDIA, he can buy Facebook, and not worry about what had happened in the past. Sunken cost, it's a very strange phenomena. I've got a few I'm going to do on sunken cost. And there you go. For the three of you that made it this far, God bless you. My daughter's getting married in a week. Could get a little crazy.